Hello again. Welcome back on my YouTube channel. I'm back again with another video. So I'm actually making a video whereby I I got a reference from the book that I actually read, which is Smart Woman, which is about financial. It's about women, inspiring women to be financially independent, which is a good book to read, but it's more like um because I'm a South African, it's a South African book because it's accommodate a lot of things that are actually happening in South Africa. So, but I'm sure you can learn something. Just that you have to skip some pages if you're interested in reading that and you happen to not be a South African. So, whereby I'm talking about today, I will be on co-creating your life because we, as much as we are creating our own life, we are not alone. We are receiving help from another dimension. We're receiving help from another side, from God, from our ancestors. So we are co-creators. We just have to listen. We just have to be obedient. As much as we're obedient, we have to have a voice of no. We must have a voice exactly on what do we exactly want in our life. So called creating your life, it has nothing to do with your parent, it has nothing to do with your friends, it has nothing to do with your environment. Just because you grow up poor, just because you grow up rich, it doesn't mean that you are supposed to be living your life in a way that your surrounding are actually affecting you, or how other people expectation how other people actually expecting you to live your life, because it's your life. Nobody supposed to be telling you how you should actually live your life. When you're not doing um the way you're supposed to be doing, because at the end of the day, when you're sleeping at night or when you're about to sleep, there's high possibility to actually think about where you want to be, especially if you are not tired. When you just obvious when you're tired, you're just gonna go and sleep. So you're gonna think about your life. It might not be everyday thing, but there's no way you can skip a week not thinking about how your life you want to be, how you want to manifest your life to be, how exactly you want to be, where you at, how grateful you are with what you have, how much you want in your life, and not be as afraid of it. Allowing yourself to break free from your limiting beliefs, allowing yourself to be your authentic self, because there's no way you can manifest your life without your authentic self shining bright. There's no way you can manifest your life without you going within yourself, trying to understand what is exactly that I actually want as individual. Because when you don't tune in within yourself, don't listen to the voice, you don't allow yourself to connect with your higher self, or God, your ancestors, there's no way you know what is actually gonna work for you. You're gonna just find yourself trying to fit yourself in with what you're being told, with success, what you're being told, what is this and that. So cultivating your life, it's you with your spiritual team, it's you with your spirit guide. So firstly, I'm just gonna talk about know what you want. Like fucking like know what you want. There's a quote that I actually came across. I, I don't know, but it's been like months or years ago. So it's about when you don't know what you want, you're gonna meet a lot of people who's gonna tell you what you should do. But it's not exactly as that. As exactly, I'm just gonna paraphrase it in a way that I actually remember it. So, like, when you don't know what you want, there's high possibility that you are not happy with your life, because you're allowing outside influences to influence what is actually within yourself. It's okay to seek advice, but don't be consumed by what other people think or what other people want you to do, what other people's expectation of you. Because sometimes people will have expectation. For example, they have expectation, like they will have expectation for you because you're academical smart, they want you to be engineering. Have you ever noticed how many kids who were actually academical smart who didn't follow that dreams because those dreams were viewed as people who are not smart enough. Like for example, when you are actually academical smart, people will assume that you should be a lawyer, you should be a doctor, you should be engineering engineer, or you should be any kind pilot or those careers, but you want to be a chef. So a lot of people will be like, ah, you want to be a chef with those brain? How can you like use those brain with like they will always have something to say. They will always have opinion. And you'll realize these people are not even happy with their life. Why are you so invested in your fucking life? So it's okay to know what you want and believe that you're gonna get it because you will. It doesn't matter how long it's gonna take for you to get what you want, because you're gonna get what you want because you fucking deserve it. So know what you want, and whenever someone have because I mentioned that people's word are actually a spell. That's why whenever you are in your doubt, most of the time when you're experiencing doubt in your life, and then someone that when you hear other people outside energy, you end up feeling like doubting yourself that you can actually make something that you want happen. But when you're actually in your in yourself, allowing yourself to be motivated what is actually happening within you, even someone is gonna say how blah blah blah, you're gonna be like, oh shame, like you can feel it, like this is not for me, this person is actually projecting, because people are projecting all day. Another one, value who you are and what you do. You're supposed to value who you are and what you do, because at some point in your life, if you're actually having something that you are actually doing, that you're passionate about, that you actually love, if you don't value yourself, people will put a value on you, and the value that people will put on you, it won't be, yeah, a value that you actually deserve, the value that you actually in. Like have you ever been a person who actually receiving the last thing, like in your life, like you are the person that a lot of people act like you are not existing, you are supposed to be neglected, you're supposed to be receiving a small payment, you're supposed to be, because they don't value who you are. And as they don't value who you are, they don't value what you do. They know, sometimes they know what you do, they know that what you do, it's something that is great, it's something that they need, they know that your skills or whatsoever that you bring in the table, it's something that nobody can actually cope, nobody can actually be exactly who you are in terms of whatever that you service that you provide. But just because you don't know your value, obvious, not knowing your value, there's high possibility you won't value what you do. Because not you not knowing what your value, it will allow you to be in a place whereby you are constantly uh put down, because you're also actually putting yourself down most of the time. You don't value what you do. So another point is, fill your cup, like fill your fucking cup, like allow yourself to have your cup full, have your cup full, because the thing is, not having your cup full, you gonna end up experiencing a lot of burnout, you gonna experience a lot of medical issues, because sometimes when you don't pay attention to how our body feels, when we don't pay attention to our emotional need, physical, spiritual need, we tend like there's something that's gonna happen to you that will actually require you to go and attend like something like a medical help. Because at the end of the day, before we get sick, there will always be a warning. The warning can be something simple as like this slight light headache, you experiencing dryness, you experiencing tiredness. It always have a like a way of telling you that you need to pay attention to me, you are ignoring me. When you don't fill up your cup, how can you take care of other people when you don't know how to take care of yourself? Because the thing is, when you don't take care of yourself, when you don't have a no, when you have no boundaries, when you don't like put yourself first before anyone, you're gonna experience like a lot of shit. Like you're gonna come across a lot of shit people who gonna do you shitty. You're gonna feel like shit most of the time because of the lack of love that you're supposed to be giving yourself. You go the person who be like, yes man, yes, yes daddy, blah blah blah. Like you are not having boundaries for yourself. You're not allowing yourself to prevail in a way that is actually allowing yourself to evolve. Because when you're not filling up your cup, how can you evolve from whatever that you're going through? How? How can you love other people? How can you be there for other people when you can't be there for yourself? How can you know this person? Like the thing is, what I've noticed, people who actually use people, people who treat other people awful, it's people who actually don't love themselves. There's no way a person who love themselves will be have no awareness of the fact that they're hitting someone. Sometimes that's why you find them apologizing to you later on in life. It's because they know, like they can finally they meet themselves and be like, fuck, I was just me because I hated myself to that person. That's why sometimes we can feel it, someone actually apologizing after, like later on in life, especially if they treated you awfully. Like you can feel this person like they didn't know what they were doing, and you can tell they regret it. They know what they done. It's something that they are disgusted about, because sometimes you be disgusted by your actions, and sometimes you feel a sense of shame, and it's okay, but you have to release those energy. You're not supposed to carry them for the rest of your life. You have a lot of things to do. So there's no way you can hear someone when you can't hear yourself. How can you hear me when you can't hear yourself? Hear yourself first before you can hear me. Because right now, you when I'm telling you something, like you'll be triggered, like, "Eh?" And be like, all along, the reason you're triggered is because you're bleeding. Stop the bleeding first before you can actually help me with the bleeding. That's when I will, like, you can hear me. Another thing, set boundaries, which goes well with filling up your cup, because without boundaries in your life, hallelujah, a lot of shit, a lot of people with audacity, despite how narcissistic they coming across, despite how sociopathic they are coming across, they don't care. As long as they're gonna able to fuck your own life. When you don't have boundaries, a lot of shit will happen. Sometimes you think like you need to have be so hard, like have like close your heart, but no, you don't need to close your heart. You need to set boundaries. I know how difficult it was for me to set boundaries for the first time in my life. It was scary. It was like I was shaking inside, but I had to not. I have to be firm outside. Like I was like, it's hard, but it's you will realize how many people that you're supposed not to be entertaining in your life when you set boundaries. How many people that are actually were waiting for you to do that. They, like to the point they were like, wow, like you will be so surprised how many people will be waiting for you to have boundaries, and they'll be so fucking supportive towards you because you deserve that. You fucking deserve that. You fucking deserve the respect that you give. Because when you respect yourself, when you give self love to yourself, people can feel it. Like today, I was actually walking, and I was actually walking and was buying some grocery, like small things. And while I was in it, I remember I was picking up on something, was choosing what exactly what I'm gonna take between those things. And then the other guy was like, wow. Like he said something like it more like he can sense that I'm actually in love with myself. Like, and I was like, do you know when someone compliment you with something that is not has nothing to do with your physical appearance? It's just like it feels like, oh gosh, like it was the best compliment. I'm not gonna lie, and I was like, wow, like. Do you know when someone like yo guys, like the compliment that we supposed to be receiving, that it has nothing to do with our looks? Like, fuck man, like okay, like set boundaries, allow yourself to have boundaries, because if you don't have boundaries, if you're still entertaining people who are angry at you for the fact that you're setting boundaries, people who have an issue with the fact that you have boundaries. Have you ever told someone about your boundaries and the next thing they twist things? Like for example, when you're telling someone exactly who they are, like, I don't like what you're doing and this and that, and then they'll be like, oh, you're insulting. Have you ever, like, they would twist, like they will hurt you. You'll be the victim of the second circumstances, and they will act like they are the fucking victim by setting your own boundaries. Like I've come across those. Like sometimes I even like people like I was wrong setting boundaries. Like you end up doubting yourself because some people want you to be in doubt of the fact that because when you set your boundaries, it's because you know what you bring in a table. You know about your value. You know how you can take because setting boundaries it has nothing to do with toxic people only. It has to do with the healthy one too. They need to understand that you don't take call for example, I don't take any calls unless like I've been awake like from 4 a.m. and you end up calling me at 8. I do take calls when it's like, but I know that when I just woke up probably like at 7, there's no way I can take a call at 7. There's no way I can take a call at 8. I'm okay at 9, especially if I'm not busy. Like taking calls at night, it's just not my thing. It's just not what I want. I don't want to experience your anxiety. I don't want to experience your energy because I can take on your energy. Sometimes I have to go back to sender, like, so because like I have to release energies that I actually absorb during the day. Sometimes I won't be aware that this is not my energy until I'm like, fuck, like what the fuck. So things like that, set boundaries because when you're allowing a lot of shit, allowing people to take away something that is actually important, such as your peace, like people are like there are people who are actually takers, who knew that I'm gonna parasite people. I'm just gonna parasite people to get by in life. The funny thing is they do have opportunity to be better, but they choose to be an opportunist. They choose to be parasite. They choose to be like a shithole because it's easy, because being a shithole is easy. You don't have to do shadow work. You don't have to do anything that required to do in order to be healthy. That's why a lot of motherfuckers now are fucking toxic. A lot of people are supporting each other in like, have you ever come across comment section? You'll be like, wow, wow, and you'll be like, okay, I don't mean to judge, but no, no, these people deserve a very much of a judgment. They'll be so supporting each other with bullshit. Like, I'm like, okay, it makes sense. Like, why a lot of assholes are around, a lot of assholes are everywhere. It's because it's easy. It's easy to be a fucking asshole. It's not easy to be have a person of integrity. It's not easy to be a person of like courage, be courageous, to speak the truth even if they are trying by all means to shut you out. Like it have courage to set boundaries. Just know you deserve that. It's not like just because you are downward in your life, you are not supposed to set boundaries. You're supposed to set boundaries. Have you ever noticed when you're there's nothing going on in your life that is actually tangible, people treat you awfully, like you are the fucking useless person. And most of the time it's because we allow them to treat us like that. Like you can be jobless, you can be unemployed, but it doesn't mean you deserve to be not have boundaries. You're not supposed to be everywhere with everybody. I don't do groups. I don't fuck with groups. I don't do groups just because I'm this and that. It doesn't mean I'm supposed to be everywhere, because setting boundaries has nothing to do, or like it has to do with setting boundaries with others, but you also have to set boundaries with yourself. Like, you know what, this is time for me to sleep, this is the time for me, like you setting discipline within yourself as much as well as other people. It will be easy when you set boundaries with yourself. You value your time, you value your energy, you value your peace. You know when something's gonna take your peace away, and you be like, no, this thing is actually draining the shit out of me, and I need to set boundaries. How can I approach this in a way that is actually soulful to me? I want the word ensoulment. Yeah, I think it's ensoulment. Oh, okay. Pamper yourself. You don't need to have it like your bank account to be sexy as fuck in order for you to pamper yourself. You can just pamper yourself with something that can you can be able to do if you can afford to be around other countries. Like the thing is, what I've noticed, that actually Indonesia, like for example, Indonesia is an island. Like a lot of people know about it. Just because I can't afford to go to Indonesia, that doesn't mean like South Africa doesn't have place that actually look like Indonesia. because it does. It does. Like it does. It fucking does. Like sort of like I was like searching. I was like, wow, this place is actually like give me that vibe. But obvious we don't have like island, but there's actually places that actually look like that in South Africa. And I was like, wow. Like you don't have to do a financially pampering. You can do a pampering that has nothing to do with finance. It has to do with you. Stop thinking that you're supposed to wear a lingerie only for your fucking man. No, you're supposed to wear a lingerie for yourself too. Just pamper yourself. Those sexy things that you want, just do it for you. You're not doing anything for everybody, anyone. Cook the meal that you wanna eat the way you wanna eat. Cook those meals that you bring a leg out whenever you having or a date with someone, probably a home date. Just do that. Just give yourself that. Take yourself out on it. I remember like it was 2019 when one of my roommate, like the roommate, she said to me, "Why are you always alone?" And I was like, that was like a weird question to me because I've been alone for as long as I remember. So she's also like an introvert. I don't know why she asked me that side because that I like a lot of introvert can understand why people like who have who don't like being in a lot of stimuli want to be alone most of the time. So she asked me what else like or she asked me about what I was doing today. I was like, oh, I went out on a date and also happened to read a book and I was sat on a restaurant. I ate, I read, and she was like, she was freaking like I can tell like I like what I said. It was something like that freak her out. Like you read in a restaurant, you ate alone. I'm like, yeah, I've been doing this for years, and she was like, wow. And then I think like she tried and she was like, oh, it's not that bad. But obviously, it's gonna take a lot for me to actually finally be okay with the fact that I'm eating in a restaurant, I'm reading a book, I'm actually eating alone. And I was like, okay, it's fine. Just pamper yourself. Like you don't have to have like a most expensive thing. If you feel like you can try it at home, just do that. Just do things for your own. Like don't always do things just because you're a partner. Like just do things for yourself. Don't wait for your partner to take you out. Just take yourself out. You don't have to wait for your friends to have money if they don't have, they can't afford whatsoever that you want to do. Just go take yourself out. Go to cinema alone. Just do things. You don't have to always go with a partner or friend whatsoever or family member. Just pamper yourself. It doesn't always have to be financially though. It doesn't always have to be financially. You just take yourself out for ice cream on a beach side. Be aware of your energy. Like have you ever coming across people that'll be like, is this person actually aware how much she is actually projecting? Or maybe she's not aware that she's actually projecting, and then what happened if I tell her that what you're doing right now, it's not exactly what is actually happening in my world, it's not exactly what you think is actually happening within me, and I feel like you're actually projecting what is actually happening in your life. They sometimes would do that and be like, and when someone should actually tell you like, maybe I am doing that, but some people like really, really no, like they think they know you, they think they know everything about you, they think that like it's so weird when people are trying to understand you and it's like you can't read me, like you fucking can't, you fucking can't read me, you can't like even comment when I receive comment, I'm like, who the fuck these people do? Like I'm like, okay, I get it. I'm projecting. It's fine. I've done that myself, so I'm like, it's fine. It's okay because it's eventually you realize like I'm projecting. Eventually we will be aware of your energy. Be aware how you extend your energy. Be aware how how much energy you are allowing yourself to be vibrating on. Are you vibrating from your shadow energy or you're vibrating from a more higher energy? what is actually happening in your shadow self. You shadow energy to allow that shadow energy to trigger you to the point that you sabotaging your life. It can be anything. Like, be aware when you're being a dick too. Sometimes you'll be like, oh fuck, I'm a fucking dick right now. Some people like take time for them to reflect. Some it takes like after like engaging with someone, like, wow, I was so like, oh shit, I just don't want to meet this person again. Like, I'm so fucking embarrassed. Like, what the fuck was I thinking? It can be like that. Just be aware of your energy. Just be aware how you waste your energy. Where do you put most of your energy at? It's your responsibility to have awareness, to be conscious of your energy. Find your passion. This is something that a lot of people never been told. Like the school that I went to a public school, so I've never like oh had anything that has to do with self, taking care of yourself, boundaries, um, find your passion. Instead, it's just like choose your subject, which subject you're gonna go with, and you'll be like, oh, because I love traveling, I'm gonna settle for geography. Because I love I'm talking about a high school subject, because I like chemistry, but I don't like physics part. But I'm just still gonna choose physics because I like life science because it's come across as real. So I'm just gonna choose that. Like that's how I actually chose my subject in high school. Like maths. What if there's high possibility that I know that maths is actually is challenging me, but I'm just gonna try it. Like we never been told what was gonna work for us. We never like been told about anything. It's just that teachers think that just because I used to feel sorry for academically smart children, especially where I notice they don't have a nurturing background. They don't have parents that listen to them. They have parents who tell them what to do. I usually feel sorry for those girls, like, or girls or boys. Like I've realized even the pattern, most of them they don't know what to do because they had a lot of people who were telling them, wow, you're good in math, you should be engineering, oh, you should be a pilot, you should be a doctor, you should be what, you should, like, I usually feel sorry for those. Like I was the meekly one, like I was just average. I was like, oh shit, like I used to feel sorry because eventually when I come across them in university, even those that we went in high school with, I was like, there's changing careers, like it's bad. Like you're changing courses, they don't finish because they have like they never got time to grow because a lot of teachers think they know them, a lot of parents think they don't know them. So a few of them got it and be like, you know what? I was so surprised when like come across one, like it was the first time that I actually come across someone who was academically smart who didn't change career. She just knew that she wanted to be a psychologist and she did it. Like she fucking did. She's still a psychologist. I'm sure she's gonna venture it out because she's a healer. Like how many people were academic smart were told be a mechanical engineer, be a this, be a that, be a civil engineer. Like I usually feel so like I felt sorry for them. Like I even pity them because it's just so bad to have people telling you what you should do. That nobody ever mentioned that you can go within to understand yourself. Nobody. They have to be told by people who obviously don't even like being teachers, parents who don't even like what they do, but just because they're so focused on making money, they want money, money, money. They don't understand that you can actually manifest money with the things that you actually love. It might take time, but you're gonna get money with the things you want. So when you're watching this, be like, oh, a lot of musicians are out there. How can my music like it will make money, but not in your timeline. It will be God time. Probably in a way you'll be so surrender. It will manifest in a way that you already surrender to the fact that you are a co-creator. You are not creating the whole thing. Whereby you're surrendering to the fact that you are listening to your feelings because most of the time the lyrics that you receive is sometimes you see them in a dream, sometimes you pop up in your head out of the blue when you're a musician. You don't know and the whole thing. You just have to start somewhere. So start somewhere, find your passion. Like there's something I think Steve Jobs said, whereby you have to constantly search for something that you actually want. We are constantly in a journey of soul searching. It's up to you that you you put a pause in it or what. But soul searching, it's a everyday thing. Just because you feel like now I'm old, I wanted to be a ministry, but who can listen to me now? I'm not like, I don't remember the last time I was in church. There's no way I can be in ministry. Like you can't constantly postpone things forever, because the thing is you're gonna be garbage. A lot of people didn't follow their dreams. Most of them are garbage. They project a lot on people because they didn't follow what the voice